Good afternoon and welcome once again to another exciting edition of Inside ProCents, where our purpose is very simple: to showcase our members, to shed a little light on the value that ProCents is providing to our industry players, and most of all, to let you hear that value directly from our members' lips. My name is Devin Anderson, and I am the president over here at ProCents, and I'm joined once again by my friends and the ProCents leadership team, Mr. J.R. Edens, ProCents partner, and our CEO, Mr. Matt Russell. Matt, set us up.
All right. Well, I'm excited to have Marc here today from HiLumz. Marc and I have been friends for a couple of years, and I've got to learn his products and see the amazing applications that he's been able to solve that most people have not. So I can't wait for the rest of the world and the environment to learn more about it. So let's get going.
Right on, right on. We're excited for this one. Marc's not only a good member of our ProCents Environment, but he's a good friend of everybody here. So that makes it that much more fun. Today, we are featuring one of our ProCents sellers within the ProCents Environment, Mr. Marc Noland, the president of HiLumz USA, based in Alpharetta, Georgia. Good morning, Marc, and welcome to Inside ProCents.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Right on. All right, let's get this party started. As always, let's begin by shining the light on you and your organization with a little self-promotion. Tell us a bit about your organization and then follow that up with, given the specialized nature of what you provide, expand on the niche targeted by HiLumz and where you feel your strengths have the most teeth.
Sure. Okay, in doing that, I'll probably give a quick history of HiLumz. We're not a legacy lighting business, and what I mean by that is the business was launched when LED was launched, right? It was the next wave of lighting technology, and the business was founded by an engineer who saw that wave and started developing some LED projects, kind of early stage stuff, pre-2010, launched the business. And the core focus of the business for the first 4 or 5 years was really in the retrofit space. Back then, it was retrofitting a shoebox or a wall pack or something very standard, maybe a high bay. And the value proposition was always ROI. It was selling dollars for exchange of kilowatts. And a retrofit might be for a shoebox for a 400-watt replacement might be $300 or $400, but a new fixture might be $700 or $800. And that was back in 2014, 2015. That was the foundation of this business. And so we acquired HiLumz back in 2017, and basically had to make a decision because a lot of people looked at it and said, hey man, you're in the retrofit space, that business is going away, fixture pricing is coming down so fast. And so we just made the decision that we didn't think it was going away. Obviously the market is massive and there's going to be a ton of retrofitting and conversion kits that are going to be necessary in the marketplace for the coming years. But what we didn't want to do is just compete with the white goods coming out of China, the screw in, plug and play stuff that can be a race to the bottom. And we started asking ourselves, how do we become more premium? And as we were doing that, what we noticed is a lot of OEMs were getting into the space. A lot of people were thinking about it very differently and thinking about it much more creatively. And we don't like to just say we're going to give you a retrofit kit. We're going to give you a field conversion kit that's going to aesthetically perform like it came off of a factory floor, both from the way it looks in the fixture in the daylight, as well as the light performance, as well as the life of the product, as well as the serviceability of the product. We're just going to allow the installer to basically do what can be done on a factory floor in the field. And so we try to think about all of our conversion kits that way. So that's really the legacy and the heritage of our business. I mean, everything from decorative post tops and teardrops and street lighting, parking lot lighting, anything on walls. We've done up-down lighting on wall packs. We've done cathedrals. We have linear solutions. And really what we get a lot of are customers that take a picture of what we call unicorn products. And they say, hey, what are we going to do with this thing? We don't really want to rip this thing off the wall and try to find something that's going to match the aesthetic. We get pictures and people text them to us all the time, or they'll ship us a fixture and we'll design something for them.
Right on, right on. Go ahead, JR.
Man, Marc, it's good to see you as always, buddy. I'm glad you're part of the environment. And I gotta say, I was looking through your value propositions, and one of them caught my eye. It says, we participate in the profitable growth of our customer partners. And that sounds awesome. Can you give us a deep dive and maybe an example of what that means to the environment?
Yeah, we generally support the traditional sales network of lighting. I mean, I actually come from distribution and some manufacturing as well. So I have both of those backgrounds, and I've worked with agencies in different industries and sales agencies, and the relationship between a manufacturer, a field sales agent, a distributor, a contractor, and then ultimately the end customer, or what, in our case, a facility or a facility manager. That relationship's important. And so it's understanding our channel and making sure that we participate in the value proposition throughout that channel, and everybody can play a role in a favorable way. We want to promote that. We want to help them monetize that channel. And it means that we protect the business that people go out and specify our work on. We are very careful about that. We make sure that we're not just blasting out white goods that have a standard SKU that anybody can bid on. Most of the things that we do, we have kind of creative ways to protect those projects for our customers. If you're an agent, your challenge is your balance between sales revenue, top line, and your margin. And so we might not always participate as, the higher revenue generator for our agency partners, but we do provide what we think are very favorable margins in their space. We allow for a lot of overages in a lot of instances, because in a lot of cases, our agents have to go out and do extra work to sell our products, because it's a hands-on, it's a problem-solving type solution. It's not just a plug and play event. And during that process, they need to be able to demand a higher margin, and we totally respect that. We want to support that. And so as distributors add their value through the chain, it's really just making sure that we protect the channel, and everybody in the place is playing in their sandbox and promoting our product line. And when they do, everybody wins.
I like that. I mean, basically what you're saying in a nutshell is, if you bring us the work, we're going to take care of you, right? And that is a true partner. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of organizations that I've dealt with over the years that aren't exactly like that. I mean, anybody can bid the job, and somebody gets a hold of the numbers, and suddenly you've got somebody that did the spec work and did all the legwork work for you, and they're messed up. So I appreciate that greatly, and I think all of your agents do as well.
I will tell you, without question, Devin, we have a lot of projects that we have done, 6-figure projects, where the channel's made a lot more money than we have, and I'm cool with that, because the reality is if you're a paid employee for HiLumz, you work within these walls. I mean, we rely on people in the marketplace to know what we do and promote us and come find us, because we get pulled into deals because they need our help on a job. We have to have that. And so it lends itself to that. And that's okay, as long as we're, getting what we're comfortable with on the product and on the effort. And we do that in a very transparent and upforward, a lot of integrity and being straightforward. We expect the people in the field to act the same way. We have a lot of jobs where we have agencies that have made 6 figures on jobs. I mean, single jobs that we've done. And I think that's wonderful. If they're the ones that find the job, they promote it, they set us up, they sometimes tee up the engineering. I mean, these aren't just agents that are running around promoting stuff. I mean, they're doing design engineering. I mean, they're really working on the ground, and we recognize that value. We just want to provide them the products and the solutions for it.
Absolutely. No, I love it. Great philosophy. I think for everybody should follow that, to be honest with you. We all know there's layers, from the point of manufacturing to the point of getting to the project, but it's knowing your lane, knowing your space, your responsibility, and then knowing everybody else has got that same thing going on. I think it's very, very well said. All right. Well, now, suffering in silence, our buddy, awaiting the opportunity to drive chaos and fury like the winds of a twister. I bring you our CEO, Mr. Matt Russell, a space where anything can and will happen. Good luck, Mark. I really wish you the best. Matt, you're on, brother.
Fired. Just kidding for those. So Mark, one of the things that I've getting to know you, I've enjoyed is your transparency, also the products that you offer. So flipping the script back to ProCents, what are some of the reasons that you believe ProCents is the organization that HiLumz can partner with, and some of the unique components that ProCents provides for HiLumz to prosper?
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate that question. And, just well, it starts with the three of you, quite candidly. I mean, it's the people that make an organization. And Matt, I think I met you several years ago. And I mean, even in our time running around some NALMCO meetings and things like that, I mean, it's just your connection to the space and to the people around you and the way that they respond to you. It's clear that your love for this business and for the area. So if I can hang on to your coattails and have you pulling me into relationships, like, why not? Very selfishly speaking, I think that's a good thing to do. And I think the same thing certainly Devin, I mean, ProCents was officially launched, last October. I mean, we're not 6 months ago. I mean, it's not a huge amount of time that you've had this new launch. And the truth of the matter is, I haven't been able to keep up with what you're doing. I mean, it's the other way around. You guys have presented so many opportunities to us. Right now, we're working through an operations restructuring and onboarding new salespeople and all the stuff that we're doing. Just keeping up with the amount of relationships that you guys can bring to the table with warm introductions in a space in lighting that has been around for over 100 years. With all of the legacy relationships and everything, it's very difficult for somebody like myself. I'm fairly new in the industry, relatively speaking, half a decade. So I would start there. I mean, it's both you guys, Matt, Devin, JR, and then that pierces out through the channel of the people that you work with. I mean, we're obviously interested in customers and distributors and contractors and electrical installers and people that are in the lighting space, just being aware of HiLumz. And we like to say internally, we don't sell, we train. We just create awareness. If you just tell people what you do and you train them on your product line, kind of get out of their way, they'll find opportunities for you and treat them fairly and have a good relationship with them. So that's in essence what we try to do. And I think you tap right into that philosophy extremely well, because that's what you guys bring to the table.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of, ties into, the question. You and I, we met back in 2018, 2019, I believe. You just recently, I think you'd had HiLumz for maybe a year and a half. And since then, and then obviously, I've always tried to poke holes in as many opportunities as I have to make sure that when the opportunity actually hits the ground, it's going to be somewhat tangible and pliable for the future. So bringing Devin in and us having more of an operational mindset, putting stuff in place, of having things written down where people can digest it at their time frame.
Sure.
There's been an evolution from 2019 when I started the company with the board up until June of last year when Devin came on board and to our launch of October. So during the evolution, you've seen the change, but what would you like to see us as ProCents bring into the environment to help HiLumz become even more successful in 2022 and into 2023? And what do you see as something that we might need to keep our eye on as a pulse in the industry?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot there. So, yeah, there's a lot of meat on that stick. There's a lot of stuff. I would say the challenge that ProCents is gonna have, and it's also the opportunity for ProCents is right. It's just remaining relevant, and I think that's the same thing it is for HiLumz. I mean, right? I talk to our team all the time, and I'm like, look, you can't just call the same customer or agent partner, or whoever it is. You can't just call them and ask for an update, for an update, for an update, for an update. Every time you have that conversation, you have to add value to them somehow, right? And that's the challenge we all face. And it's just tough. Like, you just have to have the ability to go deeper. And if there was anything that I would look for, and again, is beyond the connections, is any type of platform where people can really spend time promoting their value proposition or providing some type of training for the products and the solutions that they provide. Whether that's just, hey, I want to show, we just did a $200,000 job that looks like this, and it's a case study, and it's a 20-minute case study that I can put out in front of people. And if ProCents can be a platform for that, where we can get our message out and we can find installers or distributors and make and create awareness of the type of work that we do, there's huge value in that, and we'll help in any way we can in promoting that. I think participating in one-off kind of promotions and things like that's a little tough for us because we so much of what we do is customizable, right? I mean, so we don't do a lot of just off the shelf stuff. I mean, we have a handful of things that we can do there, but for the most part, we're very hands-on within a project. A project starts and it's usually literally somebody else sending a fixture to us or sending us pictures of it. And then we're following all the way that through and helping them problem solve how we're going to convert that to a modern day LED system. The biggest thing is just sitting around a table and saying, how do you continue to add value? And the way that I think that I think the answer to that is ultimately going to be through providing platforms for people to distribute training and distribute knowledge about the solutions that they have, that they work on, that are the things that our engineers are doing here every day. Matt, you told me one time, I mean, I think this was probably a year ago, you and I think went out and played golf down the street. Matt and I, we live fairly close together. So we're fortunate to be able to get together now and then. We need to do more of it, by the way. But you told me, you said, Mark, you were talking to all these, great people in the marketplace. And I was like, yeah, these people, they don't know what we do. And you said, yeah, Mark, you don't communicate it very well. Like, you have these great tools. You've shown me these cool things that you guys do, but I can't put that on a piece of paper and hand it to somebody and explain that to them in a coherent way where they can absorb that. So I think that that's our challenge, and every way that the ProCents environment can help us solve that through marketing and training and a platform for that. I think you'll continue to do great.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that, as we do, and I know later this week, we've got our webinar. So the education piece is so critical within this space, from the pulse of the environment changing so rapidly with new technologies, the evolution of the 179D tax incentives, but just the evolution of the product lumens per watt, but also there are the traditionalists. And one of the things that I've always loved about your products is when we talk about places of historical significance, Charleston, we go down to New Orleans and you see some of these historical places that have gas lanterns, but they're not in compliance with lighting standards anymore, so they have to do something, but they want to keep that aesthetics. Your product adheres to that and allows that fixture to stay, so the aesthetic stays and the historical presence stays without utilizing gas and fire. So with that, we always have to be in front of that. And whether it be a seminar or a webinar, or just be creating little snippets, 2 or 3 minutes to show, highlight a product, how it's installed. Because the contractor, the people the closest to the end user, are the lifeblood for both ProCents environment and our buyers and sellers. So
for sure,
as easily as we can make it to digest and know the process, I think the better off we are. And one thing that I've seen over since we had that is just the aptitude of people going to YouTube and saying, how do I do this? Like I, watched, someone make hard-boiled eggs in an air fryer.
right.
So, there were probably 800 videos with over 50,000 views, but that needs to be in the lighting industry because people, they are experts in a lot of things, but they don't know what they don't know. And we can be that catalyst to let them see the solutions that they were unaware of. So.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think it's a call to action. That's certainly for us. And we have got to do a better job with content creation. I mean, I've got tons of videos on Vimeo that we send out to people that we do them for one job to another. I mean, I'm going to get off this call and I got to go make a video for a fixture that somebody sent us. And there's 650 of these fixtures. I mean, they're beautiful fixtures. There's no reason you're going to get rid of these things. And we're going to create a custom 2200K kit that's got a house side shield. It's really slick, and we know how we're going to do it. And I'm going to describe all of that in a video of exactly what we're going to do, send that over to the end user, and they're going to understand. They'll understand exactly what they'll do, and then they'll be able to place a trial order if they want to try one of our products on that. And so that's the process that we go through. But explaining that, we just do a poor job of it, and I need help. I need people. I need organizations like ProCents, and I want to spend more time with it. Devin's been great. Like I said, if Devin's made 5 requests to me, I can only get back to so many of them because there's so many every introduction you have on a relationship creates a lot of legs, right? You have to have that conversation, and then you have to do the follow-ups, and then you pierce the organization. And I just haven't been in a position to do that. We've been going through some sales personnel changes. And so, but we're getting on the horse there, and you guys have been at this for not very long and have made a dent for us already. And it's been great. So, hats off to you, and great work with everything. I think you're a great promoter of lighting and of the industry in general.
Yeah.
That's
Well, we
awesome.
appreciate you.
Yeah, very much. We appreciate you very much. In fact, I think your ratio was pretty close.
Well,
He's not one of those guys trying to get the tiger by the tail, but I totally understand what you're saying and what's been going on, and we'll keep coming at you, and we'll keep giving you new ways. We're always between JR and myself and Matt. We're every week we're sitting down and talking, and something squirrely comes out of one of us, and we put it together. It's not just words. We end up putting it into action, and our philosophy has always been just do it, right?
Right.
I mean, the worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work.
That's right.
So I mean, if it doesn't work, then we at least tried it, and if it worked, then we can expand upon it. And so that's kind of how we go after this thing. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to be said for consistency, and sometimes you have to stay after these things, and they start snowballing, and when they do, it starts compounding, and you get even the flywheel effect of where people can go, and you can create that at ProCents, and you guys are off to a great start.
Right on. Thank you, man. We really appreciate it. All right, that concludes today's Inside ProCents vlog session. Again, today's focus was on Mr. Marc Noland, the president of HiLumz USA. Thank you once again, sir, for your time and insights.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Right on. Matt, you want to take us away?
Well, I'm going to encourage everyone to go to HiLumz, check out their website, and if you have a unique solution, reach out. Literally, these guys have solved every solution I've brought at them. They have a product there. It's called the Puck Light.
Yeah, that's right. Tough puck.
It's one of my favorite lights. It's only 10 watts, but I utilize that in so many different applications, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But these guys can do the custom solution. So if you're needing that unique solution, HiLumz is your place to go.
There's your
Cool.
slogan right there. You bring the challenge, we bring the solution.
I like it. It's going to be going on our logo soon. Thank you.
All right. And now, as we always do, we close with a bit of our ProCents culture to do it right. To all of our current and future members, remember, success always begins with consistency. Get yourself and your organization fully connected. Be active, be responsive. Always do what you say you're going to do, and remember to support the environment by always first turning inward for your organizational needs. At ProCents, we make connections that are sticky and that last. Then we get out of the way. ProCents opens doors, and participants always choose their own path, but they do it together. If you'd like to know more about ProCents, check out our website, www.procents.com, or reach out to one of our leadership team members and get on our calendars. There is no better time than now to get on this train, and we really need to connect with you guys if you're going to be in Life Fair. So let us know so we can get you on our calendars there as well. Thank you all once again. Have a great day.